this video I'll show you how to refill your heavy bag without having to empty it first. It's something that I wrote about in my book The Fighter's Guide to Hardcore Heavy Bag Training, which I wrote together with Lauren Christensen, and I'll show you a little bit more about that here. So what you'll notice is that when you're training on your heavy bag for a little while, especially if you train regularly and you hit hard, the top part of the heavy bag will become a little bit more flat and hollow, because the filling will be sinking towards the lower parts of the bag, which then results with the top being very light and very flat and the bottom being very hard. So you want to avoid that. You want to have a heavy bag that is evenly distributed to avoid injuries. So as you see here, when I hit the top part of the bag, it's very flat. There's not enough stuffing and filling in there. So to take the bag down, you just grab the stool, put the bag on top of it, and unhook the chains like I'm doing here. This is pretty much the quickest way to get the job done. Now, how I'm going to start redistributing the filler is by slowly lifting the bag up and dropping it on my knees as I slide it to the left every single time. So you see here, this drops the filling for the most part already to the left side, the upper part of the bag. Then you start with stomping kicks slightly sidewards, so there's an angle to it. I'm kicking slightly away from me to distribute the filler once again more towards the top end of the bag. So I'm doing this up and down the bag, then I roll it over and do the same thing on the other side of the bag. You can keep doing this with quarter turns or half turns on the heavy bag, depending on how tough it is or how much it resists. Now that done, the next part, you just lift the bag upside down, so the chain part where you would hook up the chains is at the bottom. Now I'll just do squats here, lifting the bag up and then slowly tossing it a little bit up in the air and catching it while I slap with my fingers and my hands onto the bag, pulling it into me. This will give a shockwave to the bag and make the filler drop down even more towards the part where the chains are. So you do that a couple times, and then you put the bag against the wall like I'm doing here, and then have a little bit of fun just punching and kicking the bag again to redistribute the filler a little bit more to the bottom. So as you can see, the top part is getting more and more flat here. Well, I should say the bottom part, because the top part is upside down now. So you can do that for a little while, and then the next part is doing the same thing, but this time you're just gonna have the bag in a freestanding manner and punch and kick it while you work out a little bit, but even more freely this time, so that the filler is freer to distribute itself along the heavy bag and drop down. So obviously you want to catch it when the bag falls. You don't want it to drop on the floor, so you have to start over every single time. But just punch, kick, slap, elbow, knee, in whatever way you like, as I'm doing here. Doing these repeated strikes will not only be a fun way for you to train a little bit more, but it will also help redistribute and refill the bag a little bit quicker. But this is how I like to end up the series, with progressively higher knee strikes or kicking techniques, starting off low, turning the back a little bit, starting over, doing low kicks or low sweeps depending how you perform them, and then knee to the body or to the groin, and then practice a high knee towards the face, so that you've pretty much went the whole distance from down to up the bag. So you see the top part now is very loose, so I don't want that either. I want to have evenly distributed filler, so I'm going to kick flat down again, straight down towards the floor, to make sure that the filler is spread out evenly over the whole area in the bag, so not just one part being completely filled up and one empty. So as you see here, I've evenly distributed it by stomping down, and when I hit the top part, it's filled up again. Same thing with the bottom part, and then I can just put the bag away and it's ready for use again for a little while longer. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want more information about using the heavy bag, you can check this out in my book.